Finally, we got ourselves a new Hal Jordan in live action for DC. We can discard whatever the fuck Ryan Reynolds was trying to do for his movie. Now we have Kyle Chandler, 60-year-old man playing Hal Jordan, and I gotta say, I'm starting to really like him. I hope nothing bad happens to him in this episode or in this series. It looks like he's got a long future as a Green Lantern. Is definitely not going to be replaced by Aaron Pierre as John Stewart. Just fantastic so far. Hello and welcome everyone back to my channel. My name is Ryan. This is Nova Films. Today we're going to be talking about Lanterns Episode 1. If you don't know, or if you're new to the channel, I am a huge DC fan, and this will be the first round of DC content that I'm going to start covering weekly, which will be the new Green Lantern TV series. So far, it's been off to a pretty good start. I really enjoyed Episode 1, I gotta say. Even though I am a big DC fan, I will just get it out of the way from the beginning. I'm not a huge Green Lantern head, I kind of just know the basics. I know about Oa, Planet Sector 2814, the protector of it, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, got the ring from Abin Sur. I know John Stewart is another Green Lantern. Sinestro, obviously, that kind of goes for my extent with Green Lantern and, the intergalactic space police and, the different colored lanterns for different emotions. So yeah, that's kind of my extent for it. But before we get started, guys, please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. And let's talk a little bit of Lanterns, the first episode, the premiere, the pilot. So if you don't know about the show, Lanterns, it actually got developed by Damon Lindelof, who is one of the main writers for the series. If you don't know his work, he's also worked on Watchmen. He's also worked on Lost as well. A really, really talented dude, and perspective that he gives for this new kind of interpretation or adaptation of the Green Lanterns. He has grounded it in a way to where it does feel a little more grittier, a little more, not necessarily realistic, but it feels a little more in tune with Earth. Like, we're not going out of planet, I don't know yet, but they kind of like have specified a lot in the marketing that a majority, almost entirely, of the Lanterns show will be depicted on Earth. So we're not going to see other planets. That might change. We might maybe see some flashbacks of Hal Jordan flying around the galaxy looking for different cosmic threats. Maybe that's a possibility, because spoilers ahead for the end of the episode, Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan is revealed to be killed in the modern timeline of 2026, which it's going to be very interesting going over that kind of 10-year period from 2016 to 2026 and seeing how him and John Stewart's relationship kind of evolves, also devolves as well, because it looks like they kind of have a bit of like a love-hate relationship. Very much reminded me of Russ Cole and Marty from True Detective, Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson's relationship between the two of them. Very much True Detective vibes throughout this entire first episode, and I'm actually really liking it because I really, really enjoyed True Detective quite a bit. So kind of taking this approach with Lanterns, kind of making it a little bit of a Western, a little bit of a crime thriller. I never really could see Green Lantern working in that way. I could always kind of see it for maybe like a Martian Manhunter kind of show, like a detective noir kind of for like a cosmic character. But I think so far what they're doing with the Green Lantern character, with John and Hal, kind of making them this rugged buddy cop team, I think is really, really interesting. And I'm intrigued to see how they're going to interwove kind of like these very human political themes of what they're doing with, like, the big migration. We see Garrett Dillahunt on his ranch getting ready for his militia for all the new incoming aliens to the planet, trying to recruit Hal Jordan and John Stewart to possibly be a part of that. And what's going on with the murders in Nebraska. It's interesting. My expectations for the show was a little lower because I'm not going to lie, so far with the James Gunn run of DC, I haven't been fully on board. That's just my personal preference. I feel like he's not prioritizing what we should be prioritizing for DC. And I feel like with Lanterns making this kind of like a mini series, and this is essentially what it's going for, is, with the end of the show being Hal Jordan's death and we ushering in John Stewart as being the new Green Lantern for the DC universe and having him being a part of the Justice League, then I think that could be really fascinating to see what's going to happen in this 10-year period between the two of them and their relationship, the ups and downs between the two of them, how John Stewart is going to like gain his powers, learn more, and become a better Green Lantern for when Kyle Chandler's Hal Jordan is ushered off, like how's that going to play out? So that definitely has me intrigued. Gotta say, Kyle Chandler, he's great as Hal Jordan so far. That cocky aura that Hal Jordan always had, even in like the comics or even like in the DC animated movies or the cartoons, like just really, really like just well done. The fact that Kyle Chandler is able to pull this off at 60 years old as like a veteran Hal Jordan, I found really, really interesting. He was definitely a highlight for me. Aaron Pierre, he's pretty good as Jon Stewart. I need to watch a little more of him in the show for me to get fully on board with him being Jon Stewart, because for right now, like I can definitely see like the seeds they're planting with Jon Stewart's character. Because like if you know from like DC, I always view Jon Stewart as super serious, very much like a stoic figure. And I feel like they've done a good job so far in this first episode, but I'm really intrigued to see how him and Hal Jordan's relationship kind of further develops. I think it would be, I think it'd just be really interesting. And I gotta say, I'm intrigued. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pleasantly surprised by this Lanterns show. From the teasers and everything, it kind of looked okay to me. The trailers for sure didn't really wow me as much, but this first episode I am pretty intrigued, and I'm eager to keep watching. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of satiates my appetite until the Batman Part 2 comes out, and hopefully any other DC properties that kind of like get me back into that flow, because as of right now, the Gunverse isn't really my cup of tea at the moment. Hopefully that can change though, because Lanterns has definitely brought me back into it, and I'm looking forward to watching next week's episode. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this review and discussion of episode 1 of Lanterns. Greatly appreciate it, guys. For the rating, what would I rate it? I think for a pilot episode introduction, it was pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. That's gonna be my rating for it. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. Greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week for episode 2 review of Lanterns. See ya.